Hello and welcome to Rahman Digital Production. Dear students, in the previous 2 or 3 lectures, we talked about the variables and constants. Now it is the time to play with those variables. As I told you that programming is nothing but the game of variables and constants. In this regard, we are taking the first playing tool, and that is decision making. And computers are not only good in performing simple as well as complex mathematical calculation, but it is also having the capability to take decision depending on the condition. Before going into the detail of decision making, we have to understand first a terminology, and that is called transfer of control. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that computer perform or execute a program in its natural gravitational order. That is, the first statement will be executed first and the second statement will be executed second, and so on. That is from top down approach. But sometime we need to alter this natural gravitational order and directly jump to a specific part of the programming, leaving few statements in between. This technique is called transfer of control. Now, in many high level languages, control can be transferred from one location to another location in two ways. The first one is unconditional transfer of control, and the second one is conditional transfer of control. Unconditional transfer of control is achieved through the go-to statement in many high-level languages. In this type of transfer of control, computer directly jumps to a particular statement. Remember that go-to statement is also called spaghetti code. Modern programming practice discourages the use of unconditional transfer of control. Why? Because it will lead to a mistake and possible confusion. The programmer must avoid its usage. It can be achieved by the go-to statement in C, C++, in COBOL, which is Common Business Oriented Language specially designed for businessmen. But there is no such statement available in Python, and that is a good news. So we have to concentrate only on the conditional transfer of control. What is that? Conditionally, control can be transferred by if statement with many more statements. But first we are taking a very simple form of the if statement. There are other statements available for transfer of control, but we are focusing only in this lecture on the first two types of if statement. There are many forms of conditional transfer of controls, of which the most important one is if statement. There are four forms of if statement in Python. They are simple if, else is with if, elif, and nested if. You will take one by one of these techniques and we'll discuss it. So let's first take the simple if statement. The general syntax of if statement is that you have to write the keyword if and then condition. What is condition? We will discuss that in a moment. And then colon. Colon is absolutely necessary. The condition is formed with the help of conditional or comparison operators. What are the comparison or conditional operators? That is equals. A is equal to B. Double equal is equal to the equal sign of mathematics, while single equal is used for assignment purposes. The second conditional operator is not equal. and plunge with equal symbol is considered to be not equal. And its example is A is not equal to B is a condition. Less than operator, you are quite familiar with this sign in mathematics. The example is A less than B, means that A is a variable, B is a variable. If A is less than B, then it means the condition is true. But if A is greater than B, then condition is false. Similarly, we are having less than or equal to. A is less than or equal to B. Greater than, A is greater than B. Similarly, greater than or equal is also available inside it, and A is greater than or equal to B. Dear students, these are all conditional operators, but one thing is common in all these things. The condition can only return a true or false value and nothing else. So consider true or false as an answer of every condition. So if and then condition, then it means that condition will be formed with the help of conditional operators or comparison operator. Let us write a program in which we will compare the masses, the weight of the masses on Earth and on the Moon. Remember that the value of G at Earth is 9.8 and the value of G on Moon is 1.625. That is 1 over 6 times lesser than the value on the Earth. So we have declared a W Earth and we are storing the mass. First we have to take mass from the user through this statement. Mass integer input, enter the mass of the body. The user is quite free to write anything, but W earth is a variable. Whatever entered by the user here will be stored inside the mass and then it will be multiplied by 9 because mg, W is equal to mg, and the value of g on the earth is 9.8, and W moon, weight on moon, is equal to mass, and the value of g at the surface of the moon is 1.625. Now we are using the if statement. If W earth is greater than W moon, and then note this colon, it must be provided in the syntax. Indentation is playing a very vital role in case of the if and other statements inside the Python. Now let's talk about the indentation and then we will do that program on the IDE. So Python relies on indentation, white spaces at the beginning of a line, as you can see it here. There are white spaces here to define scope in the code. Other programming languages often use curly brackets for this purpose, just like in C and C++ as well as C sharp. The statements indented after the if are always executed when the condition is true or false. Observe the above program. Here both the print statements are indented in the if statement. These two print statements are to be executed according to the condition evaluated. Let's do this program in the IDE. I have written this program exactly in the same fashion as I wrote in the slides. I explained it, but here the comparison operator, that is greater than symbol, is used. We will store W earth and W moon values in those variables, and then we have to play with those variables in the form of if statement. Here we are using if statement. If W Earth is greater than W Moon, then one of these statements will be executed. If the condition is true, then the line immediately after the if statement will be executed. But if the condition is false, the statement immediately after the if will not be executed and the next line will be executed here, which is the second print statement here. So depending on the value of mass, W Earth and W Moon will be generated. Then we are comparing those values and the condition will either be true and or false. So let us run this program first and then we will talk about the values. I'm right clicking here, run and Python. First, according to this statement, the first one, mass input integer into the mass of the body. So I am writing 50 kilogram is the mass. So it is saying value of G on earth is greater than on moon, and that must be the case. Never the way, whatever mass you are given, mass is constant. Mass cannot be changed anywhere in the universe. It is only weight which is changing. So the value of G on the earth, and you can see 81.25 is the value of weight. Now we talked about the indentation. If there is no indentation, then the program will not work. Let's turn our focus to the second type of if statement, and that is if else statement. I bet that you will enjoy this program. Let us write an interesting program of toss in a cricket match between Pakistan and India. Babar is the captain of Pakistan and Rohit Sharma is the captain of India. Ranjan Madugale is the match referee. Rohit has to toss the coin and Babar will call either head or tail. Remember, just like we are saying in the cricket matches that toss is not in the hand of a captain, exactly we will portray that situation in computer that toss is not in the hand of captain. For that we have to use random function and we have to import random module and we will generate the random numbers between 0 and 1. Remember that 0 is considered as a head and 1 is considered to be the tail. So if 0 is coming, it means it is head. If 1 is coming, it means that it is tail. And every time you run the program, it's totally depending on the raw value of that function, that sometime it will give you the tail and sometime it will give you the head. We will not aware of the fact that whether it is tail or head. It is totally depending on the computer. Remember in the simulation of the next program that head is equal to 0 and tail is equal to 1. Here we will consider in this program only when it is 0 you have to think on it as 0, and when it comes to 1 it means that it is tail. But in the subsequent program, in the next lecture, we will write this program and head will be head and tail will be tail. There will be no 0 and 1 concept on it. So it's a match between Pakistan versus India, and that is a semi-final. Toss is playing a very important role inside this game, keeping in mind the conditions of the weather. So let us write a program for this program for toss in cricket. let us understand first this program, and that is what I told you, that I will write a very interesting program here, and that is that interesting program. First, you have to import random, just like you imported math module in the previous lectures. Here we are importing random module. In random module we are having this rand int. It will be 0 or 1. So it will generate either 0 or 1. If you are giving 9 here, so it will generate the number between 0 and 9. If you want to generate a number between 1 and 100, so the first number will be 1 and the second number will be 100. Remember and believe me that random function is the most exciting and super class function I have ever seen in any programming language. Very difficult jobs can be achieved very easily for this. So first I am uh, calling for the toss. Call is a variable, and Rohit tossed the coin and Babar called whatever Babar want. So toss means that random number either 0 or 1. Again, I am emphasizing on this that it will not generate the same sequence again and again. Every time you run the program, it will generate a different sequence, and we will not be aware of the fact that whether it is generating a tail or a head. So print toss. For your purposes, I am printing the toss so that you understand that whether it is tail or head. I am saying that if toss is equal to 0 and call is equal to head, it will generate a number. So if it is 0 and Babar call is head, or toss is equal to 1, the computer generated 1 and the call is equal to tail, Babar called it as a tail. So these are the two conditions. One condition is this one, and or operator is used. We haven't yet talked about the or and not operators, but we will talk very soon about these when we are checking the multiple conditions. So either this condition is true or this condition is true. It means that Babar Azam has won the toss, and if both these conditions are not true, then it means that Rohit Sharma has won the toss, and it is totally depending on the Indian's captain that what he is going to decide, whether batting or bowling. Toss is equal to this, so the commentator will say it came down as a toss. Whatever toss is stored inside this variable, it will be printed here either 0 or it will be 1. Now if these two conditions, either this condition or this condition is true, then Pakistan has won the toss, and Babar will be asked what he is going to do. Babar, what you are going to do? So, whatever he is inputting the value, for example, bat or ball, so it will be stored inside the decision variable. And finally, we will say, friend, Pakistan have won the toss and elected to end decision. If Babar has said that we are going to bat first, so it will be bat, and if it is field, so it will field first. Similarly, if this condition is also not true and this condition is also not true, so these statement will not be executed and the control will be transferred directly to the else statement, leaving these three statements in between. Now it is the turn of Rohit Sharma that it came down as a toss, and whatever value in the toss is stored will be printed here. Now it is in the court of Rohit Sharma that whether he is selecting bowling or batting. So the commentator is asking that Rohit, what you are going to do. Whatever is entered here, it will be stored in the decision. And then the final result will be India have won the toss and elected to decision first. Whatever decision has taken by the Rohit Sharma will be printed here. Let us do this program in the IDE. And this is the program I have written exactly in the same fashion for you people. So let us run this program. Nothing different is there. So I am not explaining it again. Let us run this in the terminal. So what it is asking due to this, that Rohit tossed the coin and Babar called what? For example, Babar called is a tail, and then it is a head. I told you that 0 will be considered as a head. Babar called tail and it came down as a head. So it came down as a 0. I told you that in the next lecture we will make it as a head or tail instead of 0 or 1. But remaining in the context of our knowledge, we will do what? We will use 0 or 1. We will do that in the nested if statement. I will come back again to this program and will make it more sophisticated. So, Rohit, what you are going to do? Rohit is saying that we will bat first. And the final thing the commentator is saying that India have won the toss and elected to bat first. Let us run this program once more and see whether it is doing well. Again, Rohit Sharma is winning the toss or not. So, this time again Babar is calling for tail, and this time it came as a tail. 1 means tail, so it came down as tail. Babar won the toss and the commentator is asking Babar what you are going to do. He said that we will ball first. We will do the bowling, and the final decision is Pakistan have won the toss and elected to ball first. So every time when you are running the program, it will give you different values, and it is totally depending and choice of the random function. We are not aware of the if, elif and nested if.